Good afternoon. It is Friday, May 24th at 3:30 in the afternoon. My name is Larry Cedar, and I am back with you for another session on what I call scanning, spelled Sqanning. Scanning, simply put, is the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. And in brief, this practice is based on the theory, according to a man named Thaddeus Golas, who wrote a book called The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment, that everything in the universe is in either one of two states: contracting, squeeze your hands together, or expanding, releasing. And that we vacillate between those two states: contraction, expansion. If you want a balanced life, you have a mixture of the two. We need to contract. Contracting is thinking, doing, building. We need to expand, letting go, releasing, doing nothing, being in complete silence. And if you pay attention to your life and the state you may be in at any given moment, you will generally be able to see if you are more contracted or expanded. There are many forms, there's many techniques which utilize different aspects of our body or mind to expand. It's a natural process we all recognize to be healing. This is just one of those ways, scanning. So there's a lot going in the world right now. A lot of thinking, a lot of arguing, a lot of talking, a lot of physical activity. These are all contractions. So we tend to feel bad when we're overly contracted. So what this practice does, it tries to bring us back to center by expanding and coming to a more centered, neutral place from which we can more effectively deal with our life. Scanning does this through a very specific, simple method. It's not a thinking process. It's not a mantra. It's not a mental process. It is simply the release of muscular tension. If you make a fist, 3, 2, 1, release, you have just scanned. The theory being that we are either in a state of contraction or expansion. Anything we can do to move ourselves into a more expanded state will inch us incrementally into that state. And as one part of the body begins to expand, the rest will follow, including the mind. So if you are obsessed with thoughts or worries or problems or issues and you can't let go of them, and you're racked with tension and fear and anxiety, and you need to expand rather than try to think your way out of the problem, which is a contractive process, we use the muscles to expand. As the muscles expand, ultimately it influences the mind, the brain, which is a muscle of sorts, forming thoughts, ideas. It too relaxes and lets go of those thoughts, and they simply float away, and you're left in a state of calm. So that said, let's begin. Again, very simple process. All we're going to do for the next 15, 20, 25 minutes is release muscular tension and see where it takes you. See if it helps you. Generally speaking, I try to put in at least an hour a day. It's amazing how contractive my life is that I can only squeeze in an hour a day, but that's how much we contract. So if you can find even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, anything you can do to move the dial into a more expanded state will help center you. So we always start each session with stillness and silence. Motion, activity, words, thoughts are contractive processes. The first thing we want to do, if you are contracting, is stop contracting. You may not be able to yet reverse the process and expand, but you can at least stop contracting. And we do that by sitting absolute stillness and silence. So let's just do that. Take a deep breath, and then just sit in absolute stillness and silence for 15 seconds. Here we go. Release. Deep breath. So you have already begun. It was that simple. The expansive process. That's scanning. You've begun to expand. You've stopped contracting. You've moved the dial. And any amount of movement on that dial, however incremental, however small, moves you in the right direction. You can't contract and expand at the same time. You can't make a fist and release a fist at the same time. So when you are contracted, any amount of expansion, the slightest amount of expansion, reverses that process and takes you into a more healing state of expansion. So let's do it again. Again, this is the preliminary. We're going to get into the actual muscular release in a moment. Take a deep breath and sit for 30 seconds in absolute stillness and silence, and sit as still as you possibly can, because what we're doing is sending a message to our body and our mind that we have stopped doing, which is a contractive process. Deep breath. 30 seconds. Take a deep breath. Now, if you're anything like me, and you are contracted by nature, thinking, doing, always in motion, trying to achieve things, sitting in absolute stillness and silence can be quite a challenge. So don't be surprised if it feels a bit uncomfortable or strange, because you're not on your phone, you're not watching television, you're not eating, you're not even just lying down and trying to sleep. You're consciously making a decision to stop doing, to just be. That's expansive. Okay? So you've already begun the scanning process. We've already moved the dial, just simply by stopping and doing nothing. Last time, we're going to take a deep breath, release it, and sit for 60 seconds in absolute stillness and silence. Deep breath. 60 seconds. Don't move a muscle, but continue to breathe. Thirty more seconds. And take a deep breath. Now, as we move further and further into an expanded state, through what we're going to do next, which is the muscular release, you may notice yourself starting to have an impulse to take a deep breath. Take that deep breath. A contracted state is a state of holding. Consequently, when we are contracted, we tend to hold our breath. You may not be aware of it, but when you stop breathing correctly, you're literally cutting off oxygen from your body. This puts your body into a state of panic because it feels like it's going to die. So a lot of times when we're tense and worried, we've stopped breathing, and the agitation we feel is because we have a lack of oxygen. One of the reasons that so many self-help techniques utilize deep breathing is because it reoxygenates your body and sends a message to your body that you're safe, you're getting what you need, it's okay, you can relax. You don't have to be pursuing survival techniques. So as you start to feel the impulse to take a breath, take that breath. We're becoming still, we're becoming silent, and now we're going to try to become relaxed. You'd be amazed when you check in like this, through deep breaths and stillness and silence, to find how much tension you are holding, even when you're doing nothing, when you least expect it. I've had moments when I was just sitting around, doing nothing in particular, and I said, I might as well scan. And I'll start, and I'll realize just how much muscular tension I'm holding. It's astounding how we just go through the day with this tension. We don't need to. It's excess energy expended. So when you scan, you make yourself aware, more and more aware, and that's what you want. You want to be more and more aware of where you are on that spectrum so that you can keep yourself in check and not get too overly contracted, which is what happens. Then we get in trouble and we don't know how to get out. So even a simple matter of sitting still and taking deep breaths will bring you in the right direction. Now we go into what I call the nuts and bolts of the technique. And this is all it is. Muscular release. So again, make a fist. 3, 2, 1, release. Squeeze your hands together. 3, 2, 1, release. One more time. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now that sensation of release, that's scanning. Muscular release. And if you can, try to just trust that that simple muscular process will take you into a more relaxed, still, calm space. It will lead your body and your mind into a more expanded state. Then you have a very simple way of reaching that state. It's not complicated. There's no more you need to read about it. All you need to do is practice it, because the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. So we're going to work our way through our body. We're going to go through what I call the muscular zones. And we're going to pick muscle groups in the body, and on a 3, 2, 1 count, you're going to release whatever muscular tension you can in that area. Even if it's a small amount, just like we did here. 3, 2, 1, release. Do you feel that? That's what we're going to do all through the body. This will start to guide your body into a more and more expanded state. Start with zone 1, the face. On my count, release all the muscular tension in your face. And you can look at a mirror to see this happening. 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, that sensation of letting go is scanning. You just did it. You just started. It was that simple. Again, the face. 3, 2, 1, and release. See, what you've been doing all day, all week, all month, all year is holding. Holding. Out of fear, anxiety, whatever it is you're thinking about, you've been holding onto thoughts, ideas, and muscular tension as a means to instinctively protect yourself. But we go overboard. We hold more than we need to. There's times when you need to hold, but we get stuck in that place. So we're going to start removing unnecessary tension, unnecessary muscular tension, so we can again bring ourselves into a more balanced state. So let's start with the face again. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the face. 3, 2, 1, and take a deep breath. And just experience, tune in to what it feels like to have let go of that tension. It's a conscious decision. You've been walking around with this tension as though it's normal. You don't need to be holding onto all this muscular tension. The face. 3, 2, 1, and release. We move to zone 2, which is the top of the head. Focus on that area and see if you can consciously release tension in the muscles of the top of your head on my count. 3, 2, 1, and release. And sometimes that feels like a drooping sensation, like someone cracked an egg on your head and you feel the muscles just drooping. Top of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, the face. 3, 2, 1, and the top of the head. 3, 2, 1, and take a deep breath. And just take a moment to assess the change. Because that's all you're looking for, is a shift from here to here, from here to here. When you focus your awareness on it, when you consciously experience it, you begin to understand that you have the capacity to change your state of being. You just did. And it's important, again, that you acknowledge even the smallest change, because any movement in an expanded direction is away from contraction. So you're building a consciousness of your ability to change your state of being into a more expanded state. The face. 3, 2, 1, and release. Top of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. And now moving to the back of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, what I'm doing now is just basically taking a moment to register that change. And to allow yourself to move into a more expanded state. You have to give yourself permission. It can be frightening to let go of all the things we're holding on to, our thoughts, our ideas, our physical tension, because then we feel vulnerable. We feel at risk. We feel like we will lose whatever it is we're holding on to that makes us feel secure and safe. So as you release muscular tension and take a moment to see that it's okay, you're okay. In fact, you feel better. Then you will become more proficient at this practice, because you'll go through the barriers which are habitually, and habit is a big word here, led you to hold. You will break that habit, but it takes practice. I'm going to go through these 3 zones again. The face. 3, 2, 1, and release. The top of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. The back of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. And if you find it hard to monitor the tension in an area, that's because you're new to this. But the face is an easy one. 3, 2, 1, and release. We all know what it feels like to let that go. So just start to explore these other areas. Same like this. Squeeze your hands together, release. You know how to do that. Well, you have that kind of control over all the muscles in your body. You just use certain ones more than others. So you're more familiar with the process of contracting and expansion. So get to know these other parts of your body, which you've probably been cut off from. Your awareness has been cut off from. A lot of the problems we have in life is because we have become disconnected from our bodies, where we've lost touch with how our body works. So things are just happening and we feel like we have no control. So you're getting familiar with your body and realizing you have total control. And that could be very reassuring to know that when you're in trouble, when you're overly contracted, you have a technique for pulling yourself out. Self-mastery is very reassuring, because then you don't feel at the mercy of life. You feel like you have some say. No matter what's going on, you can center yourself and feel calm and approach life with a more clear vision. 1, 2, 3. Zone 4 is the neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. You'll find some areas you carry more tension than others. That's natural. We all have different places where we hold our tension. You can focus on those areas more. This technique is fully customizable. Do with it as suits you. The neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. So now you're starting to feel a kind of a drooping, dropping sensation. All 4. The face. 3, 2, 1, and let it go. The top of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. The back of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. And the neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath. And it's very important when practicing this technique that you take your time. Take as much time as you feel is necessary. Time is a construct. Time is a contraction, dividing up our existence into days, hours, minutes, seconds as a means of conducting our lives. We have to know what time it is to get to meetings, to get up in the morning, to go to work, to achieve certain things. It's a contraction. So as we scan, we move away from that template to a place where time doesn't exist. Time doesn't matter. There's no expectation that we have to be anywhere. You know, if you can practice this for 15 minutes, a half an hour, you can always manage to find 15 minutes somewhere in your day and decide, I don't have to be anywhere for these 15 minutes. So take your time, begin to move away from your heightened awareness of time to a place where time doesn't matter, where there is no time. You could sit for 5 minutes and do absolutely nothing. What's the rush? You're not going anywhere. It's just you, yourself. So take that moment to experience yourself and to feel what it is to have no deadlines, to have to not be anywhere, to have to not think anything, to have to not do anything. You're moving into a state of just pure being. That's an expanded state where you simply exist. So take your time. Zone 5 is the shoulders. On 3, let them drop. 3, 2, 1, and release. Neck, shoulders are connected. If you feel them both go at the same time, that's fine. Ultimately, we're just one body. I'm breaking it up into sections, but ultimately, it's all connected. So it doesn't matter. If I say relax your shoulders and your knees relax, that's fine. What you're doing is basically sending instructions to your body to let go. Let go. Doesn't matter where it happens. Doesn't matter how fast or slow it happens. Doesn't matter how much it happens. You're basically just trying to get to a place where you can release. Again, shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Let them go and drop. Deep breath. There have been times when I've been doing scanning sessions where I suddenly forgot what I was doing or why I was here. That's an excellent sign, because what that means is I've let go of the construct of a session. I've let go of the construct of having a goal. I've let go of the construct of needing to achieve something or say something. I'm suddenly just in a state of being, and none of that matters. That's your goal, to go to a place of nothingness. You can't live there. You have to get back to your obligations and duties and all the things that make up your life, maintain them. But you could visit this place of nothingness at least a couple times a day, because it will bring you into balance. Contraction, expansion, centered balance. If you've been overly contracted, as you expand, you move this direction till you are centered. So all we're doing is trying to bring some balance into our life. Zone 6 is the chest, stomach, front of the waist. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath. For me, as I start to expand, and I've begun to expand through these simple steps, I feel less agitated. I feel less uncomfortable in my chair. I feel less aware of having to be anywhere or do anything. In a way, I start to feel like I don't care. Like it doesn't matter if I finish this session, if I do it any more, if I do it any less. I've come to a place where I've let go of expectation through the muscle release. It's literally taking me into a place of expansion where there are no definitions or plans or goals or ideas, a place of nothingness. Stay there for a while. Forget why you're here. Forget everything I've told you. Even the name of this technique, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to move into a place of nothingness. It doesn't make sense. There's no rational explanation. There's no predefined result other than you've let go. And just experience what that feels like to be in a place of nothingness. This is particularly true for people who I consider overachievers, who feel they must define themselves by what they're doing at every minute in their life. And every choice they make has the underpinnings of what will this do to define me or help me achieve. That's great. That's how you achieve. But on the other side of that is a place of doesn't matter. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to think anything. I can just be. I can just be. And I would suggest, for me anyways, and hopefully for you, that coming from a place of nothingness is a place of the greatest wisdom. Even though you feel like you've let go of everything you think, everything you know, all your ideas and arguments, all your achievements, even though that feels like you've let go and you're nothing, it's the opposite. You're in a place of availability. From a place of availability, from a place of nothingness, you can really achieve. You can really see things clearly. You can make some brilliant decisions. And your body is relaxed so we can make some incredible physical choices. But first you've got to be willing to let go of it all, if only for a moment. Zone 6 is the chest, stomach, front of the waist. Zone 7 is down the back and into the pelvis. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, down the back and into the pelvis. 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath. You know, I would suggest that if you were to come up to someone who'd been scanning effectively for a while and they reached an expanded state and you said to them, how do you feel? They'd say, I don't know. Does it matter? What are you thinking? I'm not thinking anything. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. Who are you? I don't remember. Now that's an exaggeration, but that's the place you want to come to. We spend a lot of time thinking and doing, contracting. And all we're doing here is bringing ourselves into balance by going to the opposite place where you're doing nothing. You're thinking nothing. You have no opinions. You have no name. You're just a physical being. And to experience that, for me, it's amazing because it allows you to understand that even in that place of nothingness, you exist. You're real. That's valid. You don't need anything else. That's valid. It feels very reassuring to know that that's enough. If you can experience yourself in a state of nothingness and love that state of nothingness, you're really loving yourself, because in the beginning, we were all just nothing. We were just a physical body. And that should be a beautiful thing, to simply sit and experience your breath, the sounds of the room, the colors, the sensation of your heart beating within you. That's home base. And it's a place we could all benefit from visiting at least a couple times a day. Zone 8, the last zone, is down the legs, across the knees, and into the feet. On my count, let go of all the tension you think you can in your feet. Experience your feet, and then see if you can just let go of the slightest tension like this. 3, 2, 1, release. Zone 8, the feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. Feet are very important. We hold a lot of tension in our feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, the feet, and release. Take a deep breath. Just take a moment to register how, if you feel different than when you started this process half an hour ago. The change can be infinitesimal, but if you've even shifted an infinitesimal amount, the slightest amount, you've moved away from contraction. Now you will have varying degrees of success depending on how often you practice, how focused you are on the technique. One day is different than the other. Some days I'm only able to move myself a millimeter. Some days I move myself into a completely expanded state. But you'll start to build a consciousness of where you are on that spectrum at any given moment. And as difficult as it is to let go, you will begin to make expansion or scanning, in this particular technique, a part of your day so that you can achieve balance. And I would suggest to you that for me personally, there is nothing in my life, nothing, no aspect of my life that isn't helped by scanning, by moving myself into an expanded state. It clears my mind, it relaxes my body. It allows me to think clearly. It allows me to rid myself of a lot of physical discomfort that I may have as a result of the tension of the day. So give it a shot. Again, it's called Sqanning, Sqanning. It is the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. That's all you're doing, is releasing muscular tension. If you can trust that that simple process will lead you into a more expanded state, I think you will achieve tremendous results and really benefit, as I have, and which is why I share it with you. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.